All right, everyone. Welcome back to the 4th and 12 podcast. My name is Larry, here with my co-host Chris, and we are going to be talking about a few things today. Seahawk related, NFL related. It's off season right now, but we are always excited for NFL football. Chris, there's a couple discussions points that you wanted to talk about, specifically about Kenneth Walker III. Go ahead and brief our followers a little bit about what he has said recently.
Yeah, so I'm sure as many of you are aware, K9 went on, I think it was Football Morning, and had some things to say about the Seahawks, how he was looking to play against them in the week coming up, which is at home, mind you. Careful what you wish for.
In Seattle.
And then he also said that he felt, I don't want to say disrespected, but he felt like the team was leading towards going towards the second running back, which we know that would be Sharps, and that's in that stance there. He said he wasn't really happy with how things were going. He knew by the end of his time in Seattle that free agency was coming to an end. Or I'm sorry, that he was going to be hitting free agency and that his time in Seattle was coming to an end. And so I figured we would start off today kind of diving into that. We'll see how we feel, talk to Larry about it, and we'll just attack the subject and keep going.
Yeah, man. Honestly, how I feel about the situation is, Kenneth Walker saw, like he said, midway through the season that he wasn't, really feeling how the team was maybe treating him. I think with how Mike McDonald wants this team, he doesn't want to rely on one solo running back. He wants a running back by committee. This is his team. He's the head coach. Even though he's the defensive guy, I think he wants the committee. And that just proved to be, beneficial because you had the 1-2 punch with Sharp and K9. Going into the playoffs, K9 was fresh, which, he hasn't been a lot of his career. He's been, dinged up a lot of the time. I would say like his tenure in Seattle, he's just been pretty average. And I think us as Seattle fans expected maybe a little bit more, especially after his rookie season where he surpassed 1,000 yards. I think that we were expecting more. And if he showed that and he stayed a little bit more consistently healthy, before the beginning of last year, I think the discussion would be a little bit different. I think maybe we would have considered keeping him.
Right.
But still, we like that 1-2 punch with Sharp and K9. It worked all through the year. They were both healthy. Unfortunately, things got a little dicey towards the end when Sharp went out. K9 took over. And, the rest is history. He got the, playoff Super Bowl MVP. And I feel like those last 3 games really led him to get a bag. And KC was the team willing to pay him.
Yeah. No, and I agree. I don't have any ill will towards Kenneth Walker.
Zero.
I think he was a good running back. Do I think he was great? No, I think he thinks he was great. I don't think he was great. I think he was good. And I think having Sharps in there more definitely helped.
It brought balance, I feel.
Yes, it helped, and it helped him stay healthy on the field.
Exactly.
I think I want to say the last 2 or 3 years, he hadn't finished the season healthy. Like he had been dinged up.
I don't think he played a full season until this past year when he split carries with Charbonnet.
Yeah.
And that's just what happens when you split carries. If you give 100% of the workload to one player, he's going to break down. By the time the playoffs roll around, he's going to be a shell of himself.
Right, yeah.
And obviously that wasn't the case. We got a healthy K9 for the playoffs, and he sprung us to a Super Bowl, which I'm so grateful for. And he seems like a good guy, easy to root for. I'm hoping him the best in KC, honestly. And they have running back issues, Kansas City, for the past 5 years. Isaiah Pacheco is not it. He is not him.
He is not
Before that, Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
You're not that guy.
They do not have a guy. But now, maybe they do. I think he'll be really involved. I think they'll use him a lot. They have an air raid offense, but I feel like now that they do have a running back that they're paying quite a bit of money for, he's like a top 3 paid running back now.
Yeah.
I think they will use him. And I think if he stays healthy, he could be a top 5, 6 running back.
Right, yeah. I don't know, man. I'm reluctant to pay running backs. What do you get, 15 mil a year?
15 mil for, I think, 3 years, which is a similar price point. Breaking news today, Breece Hall, same running back in the same draft, picked 1 and 2. They both got a contract for literally like the same exact money.
Right.
And I think they're both pretty average, but they have potential. I guess that's why they got paid too.
Has Breece Hall been healthier?
He tore his ACL his rookie year, so he has like a more significant injury. and then it took him a little bit to get ramped back up. I think he had a pretty good year last year. So they both aren't the healthiest running backs. K9, I feel like, has had like lingering issues that has knocked him out for, 2, 3 games at a time, but Breece Hall missed like an entire year.
Yeah.
So, when it comes to that, like you said, you're really weary on paying running backs. Seattle, John Snyder is notorious for not doing that.
Mm-hmm. I
And
think,
then when you realize that, Charbonnet's hurt too, that obviously doesn't add to like the fact that now we're down a running back.
yeah,
Thankfully, we had the 32nd pick. We got Jadarion Price, which I'm pretty high on, and I think that he could definitely produce and just as much as K9, but definitely has a potential to surpass the level that he has
right,
while he
yeah.
was with Seattle.
My only reservations on the whole K9 thing is, as we said, we know he's been injury prone. With Patrick Mahomes coming back from an ACL, do we
Yep.
think that Patrick Mahomes is going to play week 1? I'm not convinced he is.
I
I
don't
mean,
think so. I don't think anyone knows, honestly.
yeah,
It's weird.
he could. I mean, maybe he trots out there and he's like a shell of himself, like Aaron Rodgers when he came back from the, you know,
No,
the
yeah, but Patrick Mahomes is a lot younger than when Aaron
no,
Rodgers tore his
I
Achilles.
agree, but if he's rushing back, you know what I mean?
You
He's
know
not.
he's going overseas and getting some crazy stem cells or something. Patrick
Yeah, I don't
Mahomes
know.
is getting like he's spending $1 billion on that knee.
Right. Well, anyways, to get to my point is, if Patrick Mahomes isn't playing week 1, right?
Yeah,
So
that's
that
true.
means, what are they gonna do? They're gonna run the ball, which is gonna they're gonna have to give K9 the ball, right?
Of course.
The load's gonna be on him. He's gonna get 20, 25 touches a game,
Yeah.
maybe 30, depending on, I don't know who they have as their backup quarterback, or I know it was Gardner Minshew last year. I don't know who it is now.
Yeah, I'm blanking.
Yeah, but can K9 stay healthy? That's the question, right?
Is he a 25 to 30 touch guy? Because he hasn't been last year up until the playoffs.
Yeah,
He wasn't. I mean, he was getting 10, 15 at most. And
and
was he even that productive with those 10 or 15? Sometimes some people will say that Charbonnet was better this year.
I would say that K9 has a tendency to dance in the backfield. He has that, what's his name, the running back for the Steelers.
Le'Veon Bell,
He has that Le'Veon Bell-esque dance in the
he
backfield
does.
and then hit the
Definitely.
hole when he sees it. But as you know, if you don't have a line that can block for you, or it doesn't look good.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Le'Veon with the Jets.
Yeah, terrible.
And I'm pretty sure the Chiefs traded some of their offensive line
I
players
think they've
this.
gotten rid of some guys, but I feel like their offensive line is average. I think the Seahawks took a step forward. I feel like maybe they're similar, but
Yeah, well,
when you're,
I could tell you what Chiefs don't have. They don't have 360-pound Grays Abel running downhill,
they
blocking for
don't.
you on a screen. You know what I mean?
I know they
That
got
dude's
their
a
left
beast.
tackle. I forgot his name, but he like commits the most false start penalties. It's pretty funny, and he
I think
jumps
they
so
traded him.
early.
I
Did
think they
they?
traded him. Yeah, I think they did.
Okay, okay, okay.
But I could
Yeah,
be
but
wrong. I could be
like
wrong.
you said, without Patrick Mahomes, they're going to be expecting the run too.
Yep, yep. Full
I'm not.
boxes.
I'm mad. Like I'm blanking on their backup quarterback. But if you expect the run, you can't work off that play action. I feel like that's where K9 really shined, especially in the playoffs. We're
Yep.
like a play action team, Seattle.
Heavy play action. And then
I
we
don't
also
know how much the Chiefs do that.
had JSN lining up in the backfield as well. So
Yep.
you're pulling attention towards him because you don't know where he's going, because they could throw him as, a wide receiver screen. He could run out of the backfield like he did against Rams, just wide open, untouched in the end zone. You don't know where he's going, so you got a linebacker trying to cover him, or a safety dropping down in the box to try to pick him up. So it's we'll see. I'm sure Andy Reid will figure out some stuff for him. I just
Yeah,
don't
for
know if
sure.
they have the personnel to compete. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Especially because you don't know when Patrick Mahomes is coming back. I feel like that's
Yeah.
the biggest. Once he comes back, I have no worries. But like you said, K9's a good guy. I got nothing but love for what he's done for Seattle. MVP, Super Bowl MVP. Like I love that for
Yep.
him. But I'm okay with him walking. I have no ill will towards him, and I think things will work out because we got Jadarion Price, we got his replacement, and all the luck to him if he wants to come to Seattle and just dap up, his old teammates, and that's about it. I think that was the quote.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like the Seahawks are like such
Careful.
savages. They're gonna be like,
Careful what you
nah,
wish for.
they're
Careful
not even
what you
gonna
wish
dap you
for.
up, bro. They are not even gonna
Because
dap you up,
you insult Mike like that, he's gonna be ready for you. He's
dude.
gonna be facing 9-man boxes all game long.
K9's
You
gonna have 9 yards.
Yeah, you better be careful because Nico Imamura is gonna be waiting for you. So
Oh, yeah.
careful
Demon
what you
Worry.
yeah, careful what you wish for.
That's so
So,
awesome. Yeah, but all the props to him, you know, K9. But I like there's another topic you had discussed. You're talking about the refs had a new
yep,
CBA agreement, right? Could you talk a little
yes.
bit about that?
Yeah, so the refs had, let me find it here. I took some notes for it because there's a lot of stuff here. The refs signed their new CBA today, which is always good for the league, right? Because we don't want replacement refs. Unless you're a Seahawks fan like us, because the Fail
Work out
Mary,
that one time.
that Fail Mary, but our luck, it would be the opposite, right? We got lucky that one.
You just don't want doubt when
Exactly,
it comes to
exactly.
football not being played or like having, crappy refs. You just want the best out there. And you want it. I'm glad it's a 7-year deal. Now we don't have to worry about it for
Well,
7 years.
and like, I mean, as I'm sure Rams fans would say that, one play, one screw up can determine the outcome of a season. They don't
Yeah.
overturn that fumble for Sharps and or that lateral pass, or whatever you want to call it, that he picked
Yep.
up in the end zone. And we get the 2-point conversion. They probably win. Well, I'm not convinced they win, but they may win the NFC West. You know what I mean?
It's a strong thing for you to admit that.
Yeah,
That is coming from Seahawk fans. I agree with you. Like there's probably, I don't know how many exact games there are in each season, but there's probably 1/4 of these games that are decided solely on the refs.
yeah,
And that sucks sometimes. And it's better when you can take the refs out of that, the decision making on who wins or loses games, because that's not fun. That is just
right,
not fun. I'm glad they come up with these new things every year, and then they can also come up with new rules for themselves, hold themselves accountable, which I feel like that's what fans are like outraged about, is that these refs just are so inconsistent. And I feel like that is just like what I get irked at, is like, if you're gonna call it in this game, you better call it in that game too.
right, yeah.
Even if the Seahawks aren't playing, if it's whatever, I'm watching the red zone, I'm watching Monday Night Football, and like all eyes are on Monday Night Football, and the ref decides the end of the game, and maybe that wasn't the best call. I'm like, dude, this is honestly. So I'm glad they
And
come up with some new stuff.
it looks like, because basing off the notes that I have, it says a stronger focus on performance and accountability and officiating, which the league emphasized publicly after negotiations, a creation of officials bench or reserve pool so that the league can rotate in trained backup officials if crews underperform. So it sounds like the league really wants to focus on referee accountability, which I think is a
Yeah,
good thing.
100%.
The one thing that I would like to have seen in this, and it may be in there, I just took a snippet, quick notes of what was there. I would like to see a review process to where like the league incorporates, past players, coaches, owners, things like that to overlook the referees' weekends of play calling and to grade them. And if you have such a low grade, then you need to go back to officiating school and you need to essentially work on your merits and become better. I think too many times officials are kind of handed the benefit of the doubt, and
Yeah,
it's mostly due to like Fox analysts like what is it, Blandino, Dave Blandino, who
yeah.
used to be a referee himself, right?
Of
It's
course, he's
like,
gonna have
yes,
their back. He's
yes,
gonna, it's like back to blue.
yeah, exactly. So it's like he's friends with these guys. He's not gonna badmouth them or this call or that and the other.
Zero,
Yeah,
zero.
and I
Yeah,
just
honestly, I don't know how wild of a take this is. I've thought this for a few years. I think they should start fining refs if they make terrible calls. Like they fine players for wearing short socks. Like fine these refs for making game
yeah.
decision plays that automatically just have the outcome of the game,
I
win or
don't know about
loss.
fining because I'm one to believe protect your money, but I think they should have to go to the podium after the end of the game and explain the
Yes.
call.
Explain why
I
you
want
didn't call
yes,
that.
I want an answer on why.
And that's more accountability.
Yes,
That's like they said, like you said, more ways to hold yourself accountable. I feel like that's all that anybody wants. People want to know why they did
but
that.
to play devil's advocate here, the NFL is at fault too because these refs aren't full-time employees. They are only
Yeah,
part-time employees, so they don't get health benefits, those type of things. Like these refs are working full-time jobs as well. So, I mean, I know that the pay of a NFL ref is probably pretty good. I think I remember
probably
seeing it was like 60,000 a year,
not
something
bad.
like that.
Not bad for a part-time job,
Right, not bad for, working 3, 4, 5 months out of the season.
and then working at Walmart the rest of the time.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, but I think better accountability is better for everybody. Let's see. Teams are expected to get more offseason access to referees, likely aimed at
Good.
improving communication and rule interpretation. Their agreement reportedly includes economic improvements for officials after disputes over raises were a major sticking point. Prior reporting said the league had offered roughly a 6.45 annual raise, while the union wanted more. So, sounds like they came to an agreement on that.
Right. That's good.
Yeah, like I said, I think if the NFL would make them full-time employees, you're gonna have overall better play, or I'm sorry, better
Better
reffing.
officiating,
Yeah,
yeah.
better officiating during the season. I think players will be happier. Fans will definitely. Well, you can't please everybody. There's still gonna be
Cannot please
fans
everybody. You
that are
cannot
gonna
please
cry.
everybody. Yeah.
I mean, if I have to hear another Rams fan cry about a play, I swear to God, I'm gonna
About a
go out
lateral.
back and frickin' put myself down, but we'll have to figure some stuff out. Obviously, I like what they're doing with integrating cameras. I think
Yeah.
I think some rule changes. I hate, hate, hate the roughing the passer penalty when it's like the dude lands
Yeah.
on the quarterback. Like, are we playing football or are we playing two-hand touch?
Right. I
Come
was gonna
on.
ask you if there's one rule that maybe you'd like to change in the NFL. Either maybe add a rule or maybe tweak it to where it makes a little bit more sense. Like, is there one rule that really gets under your skin? You said roughing the passer, but is there that or something else that you really think that there should be change coming up? Because discussion about the tush push last year.
I don't care about that. Stop
You
him.
don't. I don't care about that either. Is there something that you do care about that maybe you want to see changed?
I think all penalties should be reviewable.
Okay.
If you
Don't you think that would slow the game down quite a bit?
I don't care. I watch the game regardless.
We watch more football.
I
That's just
want
more
more
football.
football. I don't care.
You just want the right outcome.
Exactly. If a game goes from being, 3.5 hours to 3 hours and 50 minutes, that's,
And some things are so obvious you don't need to review 'em.
right.
Like, so it's
I'm
like
and I'm not saying
it's not gonna slow it down so
I'm not
much.
saying like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just
False
saying
start, gotta review
if
it.
and it should come down from New York. It shouldn't be a coach's
Yeah,
challenge. You know what I
right.
mean? Which
Certain
they do,
things.
which they do now,
They've been starting to do that this year
but
more than ever, I feel.
like they don't do it on like pass interference calls. I think some of those pass interference calls are kind of tacky.
Of course.
Holding calls. I mean,
Yeah.
don't get me started on Anthony Bradford and everything that goes on with him.
Not even holding on the offensive line, but holding on receivers. I remember that one against the Arizona Cardinals when JSN got called for that holding,
Yeah,
and it was the
and
sharp
then he
touchdown,
cussed on
and
national TV. I remember that too.
yeah, exactly, and they replayed that, holding, and it was very tacky.
Yep.
It could have been either way. One, penalty that I'd like to see changed is you mentioned a little bit about it, but the pass interference. I think it should be just, 15 yards and an automatic first down. I don't think you should be able to toss the ball up 50 yards, there's some tugging, and then the ball gets placed at the 1-yard line.
Now I'm devil's advocate on this, right?
Let's hear it. I'd love to hear it.
What if your receiver is wide open, like he's breaking away, and the cornerback knows he beat, and to giving or save him from giving a touchdown, he just tackles the receiver to give up the 15 yards.
That's a great point, but like I said, like, I mean, you don't have to do 15, you can do 20. Like, that is a
Yeah,
significant
but
amount of field
I get it, but at the same
and a first
time,
down.
a first down, that's cool, but that don't make up for a touchdown that you had.
Who knows? He still had to catch the ball.
Come on, man. These receivers
Hey, you've
paid
seen this plenty
millions
of
of
times where they
dollars.
drop it. Yeah, you say that every Sunday, and they still drop it sometimes.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about JSN. JSN catches everything. One hand, two
That's
hand,
true.
no
That's
hand.
true. I just think sometimes when that's one instance, like you said, if they're wide open and then the cornerback trips them or something, that's blatant. Maybe that should be a fine on the player. I don't know
Or
about
it could
that.
be reviewable. I
Reviewable, but when
I
you
know that they do it. I know that they do it for kickoffs where if like tripping, like remember in that game when we played San Francisco
yeah,
and the
they
kicker
review the
tried to treat
tripping
right. If they rule that he was going to
maliciously.
yes, that it was
Mhm.
malicious, they can give him the touchdown anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
So
And
maybe
so
that's what
maybe
they
that in
do.
that case they do that, but I just think, like I said, you throw a 50-yard bomb, there's some ticky-tacky and there's a flag and then they get put at the 1-yard line. I feel like that penalty only benefits the offense. If there's pass interference against the offensive player, you don't go back to, super far back. You just get put back like 10 yards or whatever or
Yeah.
loss of downs.
Yeah.
I think a first down plus 10, 15, 20 yards, no matter where you are on the field, that's a lot, I feel. And I
No,
mean,
I
that's the
mean,
most significant penalty that you see, when you see Seattle Seahawks penalized 4 times for 90 yards. That most of those 90 yards could be from one penalty because they got held in the end zone or whatever.
yeah, or 2 Anthony Bradford holding calls.
And a false start.
Yeah, sorry. Podcast, if you don't know, I absolutely hate Anthony Bradford,
He
so
hates him.
loathe entirely.
Hey, he's a Super Bowl champion on a Super
Yeah,
Bowl
well,
offensive line.
so are a lot of players that did nothing to contribute.
Did J.R. Sweezy win the championship in 2013? Was he on that team? I want to say he was.
I don't know. I think no, I think it was Breno Giacomini, wasn't it?
Wasn't he our tackle?
No, I think he might have been I can't remember, man. That's so long ago.
We're gonna have to review this. We're gonna have to do a blast from the past
Yeah,
episode or something,
yeah,
talking about
right.
the 2013 Seahawks and our fandom about Seattle.
Hey, I got him hanging up on my wall over there. I
I
got
got one in the bathroom. I had
that
to fight my wife about putting it there.
I got the Super Bowl Seattle Times Super Bowl poster of Russell holding the one with Pete with my first ever Seahawks ticket stub from 1996 when they played the Broncos in the
Dang, you're
Kingdome.
old. You're
I
old,
mean, I was
Unc.
only 4 years old when I went to
Sheesh.
that game. I remember sitting up in the like the way nosebleeds because we were poor. We didn't have no money back then, and my mom brought binoculars. Man, I was looking down, there was like ants down there, but it was fun.
I've never seen binoculars at a game. That's crazy.
Yeah, they didn't have screens back then, man. You gotta
Nothing on the
remember.
jumbotron.
No, you gotta remember TVs were the size of a
Ant.
no, like the size of a. You remember the big TVs you used to get?
The
They had like
plasmas.
no, no.
The bricks. The one with the bricks.
Maybe, I don't know. Remember the big, like you went over to someone's house and they had the big box TV.
Yeah,
It
it's
was like
giant
had
in the
wood
back.
grain. That was like you were rich, and
Had
that
the
thing
wood
was
grain, had the speakers
yeah,
built into the sides, looked
yeah,
like a filing cabinet or something.
yeah, and it was like, but it was like super deep. You know what I mean? Like the back of it went like 4 feet backwards.
Yes, I do
Then
remember those.
and that was
They
top of
just
the
had
line
those
back
all over
then.
the stadium or what?
No, not that I
You're
remember.
telling me they didn't have a jumbotron back in 1996?
I don't think so, man. They remember they
Was
had
that the
ceiling
Kingdome?
Kingdome.
Sheesh, they might not even had one screen in that thing.
No, I mean I remember that
They just had the
before
dots where it showed the score.
exactly. I
That's it.
remember the 1998, the ceiling tiles were falling out of that thing.
I
The
fought one of
concrete
those falling on you. I'm suing.
concrete ceiling tiles falling out of the stadium.
That reminds me of the Minnesota, their old stadium when the snow collapsed.
Yeah, it was like that, but worse because it's not snow; it's a ceiling tile. It weighs
Yeah.
4,000 pounds or whatever it was.
Damn.
So, but it was all fun, man.
Well, I think we should wrap it here. We appreciate everyone for checking this out. We're gonna try to come consistently, probably dropping 3 to 4 episodes a week when the season starts coming around. Preseason, mini camp, even, and the regular season. We're gonna start ramping up the videos, talking more weekly about what's happening. Coming up next week, we got the NFL schedule coming out. Super stoked about that. We're
Right.
gonna try to get some live coverage on when that comes out. I believe it's next Thursday,
Right.
and then
Yep.
we can comment, react to who are we gonna play. First game of the year. Do you have a prediction on who we're gonna play?
I think I know who it is. I think it was leaked already, kind of.
Well, don't say that. Who do you think it is?
I think it's the Bears.
You think it's the Bears?
I do.
I think I want the Patriots. I just want to run it back and smoke them again. I don't care.
I mean, honestly, I want the Rams week 1, but I know that's not going to happen because they're going to
Well, they're already
Australia.
playing Niners week 1.
Yeah, I
remember?
know.
In Melbourne, they got to go down under.
No, I know that. That's who I want, but I know it's not going to happen.
Give me your top 3 then. Give me your top 3 teams you would want to play week 1 besides our division, not our division included. So the Bears, is that one of yours?
I like to play the Bears. I think that'd be a good one.
Yeah,
Patriots would be fun. I just don't know with all the drama over there with Vrabel and what's her name?
Diana Rossini.
Diana Rossini. I just don't know if they're going to be all on top of their game come week 1.
Perfect. Perfect for us. Shitty for them.
Yep, just perfect for us.
Honestly, speaking of K9, what about the Chiefs week 1? A little reunion?
I don't
He's
want
there.
it. I don't want
Kenneth
it.
Walker there for banner night? That just makes sense to have the MVP be there, right?
I agree, but they don't have Patrick Mahomes. I want him at their biggest and baddest.
Dude, I don't know. I feel like Patrick Mahomes is going to take some sort of kryptonite to be back week 1. I don't know how.
I don't know.
Probably
man.
not, because he kind of tore his stuff at the end of the year.
His stuff tore up like what?
It was like week 16 or something
14,
like that.
16,
Maybe,
yeah.
14 to 16. So, I'm probably not expecting him to be back till like October,
I
late
don't want.
October,
I don't
maybe.
want. I mean, I'd like to play San Francisco, but I want San Francisco. I want full San Francisco. I want George Kittle back San Francisco because I'm
He might
sick of
not be back
all
this
these.
year.
I know, but I'm sick of all these 49er fans making all these excuses. We didn't have our full team. We didn't have this. We didn't have that. Come on down. We'll put belt to ass for you
They can
with your
talk
full
this and
team.
that, but all I know is we're the Super Bowl champions, and they
Hey,
can't
what is
take
that?
that from us.
What does our Super Bowl trophy say again? Where was that at?
Something called Levi Stadium.
Oh,
I
that's
think it
right.
said it's not even in San Francisco, so it might not even be their team. It says Santa Clara. That's
Yeah. What
crazy.
is that even in California?
I think it's like hours away from San
Jeez.
Francisco. They should change their name, honestly.
Yeah, they should.
Santa Clara 40 Winers.
Exactly.
All right, Chris. Well, I appreciate talking to you. Like I said, keep tuning in, like, subscribe, 4th and 12 podcast. We appreciate you guys, and
Yep.
have a good one. Have a
Yeah,
good
you do the
weekend.
same. Thanks. Hey, everyone. Thanks again for watching the 4th and 12th podcast. New episodes will be coming weekly as we continue to grow our content. If you like what you heard, please leave a like and hit the follow button down below. Thanks again for watching, and have a good night.